So, you're Janet Yellen, you're arriving in Beijing. You've got a list of things you want to achieve. What's number one on that list?
Number one, she has to go through the list of U.S. grievances against China, including their recent announcement of export restrictions on two critical minerals, the way U.S. companies are being treated in China, and recent legislation to create even more uncertainty in the business climate.
From China's point of view, the U.S.'s strategy of de-risking, of taking, things it considers important for national security and essentially taking them out of China, making sure they're made in either the U.S. or in a friendly country. To China, that probably looks a lot like a deliberate attempt to cripple its economy. How do you convince them otherwise?
Well, I think she's tried to do this through the speech she delivered 2 months ago on China, trying to make it clear that the United States is not looking to decouple, that we recognize we have a very extensive trade and investment relationship, but there are sectors that are of national security concern, and we're not going to be shy about protecting them. But just because we're cabining off certain sectors doesn't mean that, other sectors of the economy cannot operate business as usual.
The U.S. says it's keen to restart high-level military talks with China to avoid kind of accidents perhaps happening in South China Sea and perhaps around Taiwan. Do you see that happening?
Well, clearly China's not interested in that right now. They're much more interested in re-engaging on economic issues, and in particular engaging with Secretary Yellen, who's viewed as maybe a little softer towards China when compared to her colleagues in the administration.
You worked as a trade negotiator for the U.S. diplomatic service for decades. I mean, how do you see these talks ending?
Well, I just see her visit as the first step in a longer process. I'm not expecting any breakthroughs. I'm not expecting any deliverables. This is kind of, let's get to know each other and let's just start exploring areas where maybe we have common interest and we can move forward. But I think the days of, close economic dialogues and lots of folks visiting from each country to the other, those days are over. And so we're going to need to take this step by step.